Happy Sunday, traders. It is Sunday setup time with me, Clayton Allen, host of the Day Trading Plumber podcast and founder here at Allen FX. So if you're new to this channel, every Sunday I go through the 28 currency pairs that we trade here at Allen FX, and we plot support and resistance zones that I call bearish or bullish zones on a daily chart. Now, I get a lot of questions of you guys writing in asking, what do I use to take the trades if I don't use these, if I'm not taking on a bearish zone, if I'm not necessarily taking a sell trade. Well, guys, I drop down to smaller time frames. I look for a mixture of things. I have certain strategies I use, certain price action patterns I use. If you want more information on all of that, head on over to allenfx.com. I have some brand new, just recently launched courses you could take, ranging from beginner to advanced at running a fully automated system in 6 weeks. So check those out. If you want to see if and when I take these trades in real time on my own live accounts, I also run a journeyman signal service. All of it's over there at the website. All right, enough about plugs and sells. My nemesis, but I can't give everything away for free. I guess I could, but then what's the point? All right, so let's jump on the charts. Let's get this rolling here. All right. Make sure my head's in the right spot. I got my date and time down there so you know it's real. We don't need my head that big. All right, guys. So I'm going to start Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. I don't have the pivot points on because I don't really care on the daily chart. During the week when I do my videos, I have the weekly pivots on. But for this, I'm simply looking at inflection points or support and resistance, supply and demand, however you say it, on the daily. So when I'm on these smaller charts, as price starts to get into this area, it's really clear to me that this is the former high, and I want to start looking for reversal or a strong breakout. If we get a strong breakout of these levels, this is a great place to buy, okay? And I have these backwards. There we go. All right. So this is a great place, even though it's bearish, to buy. If we bust above, we're going to look for a retest to confirm that it's not a false breakout. And then we're going to be great. It's a great place to buy for a long-term uptrend. Right? It's like buying down here. So if you bought down here, and we're going to play long all the way up this. All right. Let's look at Australian dollar, Swiss franc. This one, there's nothing really too hot about it. So kind of the same looking chart, right? Just not as aggressive bullish run. So, this would be an area I want to look at. It's bearish. Okay. And then just to kind of corral price in, I want to look at this as my bullish area. I'm not too concerned with this. If you watched my last few videos or Sunday setup videos, this is COVID. This is the panic of COVID. This is the recovery. This area is only going to be concerning for us or handy if COVID comes back and they shut the whole world economy down and we go into that first phase of a really scary event that looked really bad. So this is going to be an area on the chart that we may not get back to. It's not logically we're going to get back to. Now, look where price is now. Pretty much where we're ranging pretty close to where we were pre-COVID. So this is important to me. Maybe this inflection point right there, right? That's a dip. That's the low before COVID. And look, bam, bam. Now these are two really good points, right? Inflection points. We may just range in here for a while before things get really better. Get really, better for the economy. Might break this. COVID comes back. We break below. We're going to want to know these two areas. Okay? Australian dollar JPY. So, again, COVID, pre-COVID. So, I think we're in this range that we definitely want to look at where we're testing right now. Okay? So, this one we're going to turn red because here on the daily, it is, man, come on, man. Get it right. All right, we're triple topping. So now's the time to be really looking at this pair and say, all right, am I going to play this move? Or are we going to bust through? And then I want to be an early buyer on a new range. So I'm turning this one red. We want to see it right out of the gate. Come on now. All right. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Well, I'm going to tell you we pretty much blew through this, right? So this is that great example of, oh wait, now that it blew through it, let's make that bullish. Okay, we're going to look for that retest and confirm. This is now a bullish looking area. Because if we come down and we retest, we want to be that early buyer, right? That early buyer on this. Great one to hold. Now, bearish, I'm going to just go ahead and kind of go in between that. It's going to be a pretty big bearish zone. But I want to try to catch the bottom side of this one. And it kind of average out that. I mean, it could go all the way up there. So that's a big zone to be bearish in. But I'm just going to go to this first one for now. And I'm not going to be really looking for a breakout above that. But if this thing works out perfect for us, this will pull back, retest this, not very long or not perfectly. Nothing's perfect. And then we're going to want to be long this pair up to that area. So if we miss this retest and somehow end up here, then I'm going to be short up there. Now, guys, doesn't mean I just take a trade. I'm not just taking a long trade and just going for the wave here. I might even take short trades on this retest on those smaller time frames. So I'm just plotting out what I think price is going to do over the next week or two. Okay? That's all we're doing here. So I'm going to turn this one red because I want to look at the retest any minute now. Okay, so this chart looks just like most of them. So that one I'm going to make bullish. Former resistance, new support. We got to confirm it, but we confirm that new support, that former resistance as new support. We want to be long and kind of tight. Price is a little tight in there. So I'm going to call this a bearish zone, but really we're just making ourselves aware that we are testing a former high, a recent former high. All right, let's move on to Australian dollar or Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. All right, so we had this big bearish move in COVID, no surprise, but we have not come back to pre-COVID levels. So we made an attempt here. We're kind of doing this, little mini head and shoulders or bigger, bearish double bottom, right? You can see we peaked out that bearish move. We dipped down into it right here. So this is going to be probably where I want to put that bullish. Okay. You can see right there. We busted below, but we quickly came back and then retested it right there. So this is where I want to be that warning that we are in a bullish situation on the daily. You can see we got 3 bearish candles, but we're still kind of following a upward trend. So nothing to get too crazy about yet, right? Oh, we could be breaking it, but not if you go by the body. So this one's definitely red. We want to see what happens on that trend line out of the gate. Where would we put our bearish? I think I kind of want to start looking right about here. Got a turn right here where we broke below. We retested. Those are usually the best spots where you can see this obvious plummet in the market where we retested to. If it lines up with a former resistance, man, you got a really good spot here. So that's where I want to look. If this thing just keeps rocket shipping up, this is where I want to start looking for that bearish turn. But right now, there's no reason to think this is not going to continue bullish. It's actually in a really good spot to follow this trend line to be a continuation of that trend. That's why I'm going to turn red. All right. Canadian dollar JPY. So I have a follower in our Telegram chat group called the Day Trading Plumber Community. If you're interested, head on over. It's free. You can chat with all of us. We bounce ideas off each other all week. We share things we're doing in our lives. It's just a fun, great group. Now, if you're going to come in there and throw a bunch of spam, you'll get kicked out quick. Or if you come in there and you can't take a little bit of razzing from the group of guys and gals on ideas, don't bother. But it is a pretty fun place to talk trading. So I'm going to go bullish right here because this looks kind of like a double top. Okay? But we can't really look at this candle because this is just, what the brokers do with price at the end of the week. And, if you look at these candles too tight on Sunday, you're like, oh, it's going bearish. I want to jump in. No, the broker's just moving the price pretty quickly. You might see this recover as that the Sunday spread jump tightens. More likely it's going to end back up where it ended on Friday, and not this superimposed candle. But I want to be bullish. I want to look bullish here or look for that break. If we get a break through this level this week, a lot of downside bearish potential. And my buddies in the community, good old Reese, is going to be happy because he is stuck in some short positions on this. Long story short, let him go way too long. And then now is on the hope strategy which no one loves. We've all been there as traders, but no one loves being there, where you pretty much are stuck hoping this makes a considerable drop. Okay. All right. So that's where I got my bullish. Yeah, and let's just think if we're gonna get in a range bound scenario. I want to see if we are gonna bound in between these two ranges. So nothing too big. Swiss franc JPY. Let's get a little bit different perspective here. Well, we're kind of touching. We're right in that zone that I would consider bearish. Okay. So this bearish zone, we got to see what's going to happen here. But man, this is a rip-roaring bullish run up to it. But you never know, guys. Catch that good turnaround right there. And this would be where I want to confirm that we're going to make a long time down. But I'm going to look bearish out of the gate on this and see if we can catch some trades in between these two levels. This one's going to stay red. Euro AUD. Wow. So, again, guys, COVID panic. And we've since come down and we're ranging quite nicely in pre-COVID levels. So, I want to be bearish right about where we're at right now. Doesn't mean I'm taking a sell trade right as soon as market opens. What it means is I am not. I'm gonna look for that double top, which it looks like we're starting if this bearish candle stays, or the breakthrough. We have a lot of upside potential on this, a lot. Okay, so we also have a lot of downside potential. I think probabilities means we're going to come back to some sort of halfway point of this before we break through. But you can see we've tested it twice. We came to halfway, and this might be the time we break through. So we just don't want to get caught in something that big. So Euro Swiss franc. All right. Well, you can see we've gotten pretty sporadic price action. I want to be bullish. I want to look bullish there. And then I'm going to look bearish at the top of these wicks. Because, man, we've tested that twice. We're at the bottom side of this. So I think I want to kind of be more bullish this week on those smaller time frame trades. Euro British pound. Just creeping back up where we had this COVID peak, right? Look at this creeper. It's just creeping up. And there's no real defined levels on this slow ride back to the top. So we're going to, we're going to look at this forward low. We almost tested it there. We might be on our way down to test it now. And then we have a decent bearish zone right there that we want to see if we're going to get range bound in between those two areas. Euro JPY. Whew, we're on a strong bullish run. Strong bullish. Okay, let's see where the COVID nightmare started. Right here. I don't know why I was way over there. COVID, right? A little jig-jag. We got all the way down here, but man, look at, we've way surpassed good old COVID numbers or even pre-COVID. So right here, I want to be long. That's how we identify that. Forward resistance, we struggled to break it. We finally broke it. We attempted to retest. You can say we retested it, that daily candle right out of the gate. Then we're on our way up. So this is an area we want to look bullish. We're bullish structure overall, and then bearish. I don't really have any target other than that. Morning, Shirley. Other than this this little peak right there, which we're testing right now. Euro NZD. Man, the euro's strong. Look at this. So I'm not really getting too excited to be a buyer until we get down here. Okay. Now we start looking for right there. Looks like we would be the next place we want to be bearish. Oh, got an itch on my back. So this one, we're at the top side of it. I'm going to turn it orange. Euro USD. Man, it looks like we are topping out. We're having some momentum problems, okay? However, we break this level, we're going to the moon. I don't necessarily want to be bullish. I want to look bullish here. But what I'm going to do is look for that break. If we break this level, man, we have some good downside. This is COVID levels though, guys. Right? Let's take a gander at what we were pre-COVID. Okay? Pre-COVID range. COVID, just a really violent kick to the balls. Through it, we kind of ranged lower. We broke up, broke again, and now we're basically at levels we were dating in 2017. Okay, we have been much higher in the the summer of 2018. So we have some upside potential, but I think we have a really good place on the daily chart to take these trades until we break above. Euro, Canadian dollar. All right. Well, the euro's been super strong. Look at this. Okay, now we've kind of topped out, at least for now. So that's going to be my bearish zone. We have an almost perfect pullback scenario. Let's just, for fun, let's do a Fibonacci. We hit the halfway point, and we went bullish again. So it would tell you that we're going to test this area again. So I'm going to be probably bullish out of the gate because this is such a strong force. You got bullish structure. You got a almost perfect pullback, and then you got a pin bar bullish. So this is going to test the zone, possibly break through it, and we want to catch that. British pound AUD. Let's get rid of these Death Star. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Well, looks like we're tested the low that we were pre-COVID. Okay. Or July last summer. Then we go all the way up here. COVID kicks it in the balls. So if we are going to look for a return, here's where we were right before pre-COVID. And we, those of you position traders that got long here and then hopefully got out, and once you saw this bottom again, you're long. I like this to make this W, right? Over a long period of time. So that is going to be where I have that. This should be our buy zone. Here we go. All these British pound pairs are going to kind of look this way too. British pound, Canadian dollar. Right as I say that, it's ugly. This is ugly. Here's where we were last. That's where we were before COVID, last summer, Brexit. August of last year is a good reference point to see the bottom of the British pound. because Brexit had reached its final phase, and it's pretty much no one's talking about it anymore. Bullish. This is wild. Bearish. So these are going to be the two areas I look at. Again, we're in this perfect pullback scenario for us to test this zone again or break through it. So this one's hot too. British pound, Swiss franc. Here is that COVID dip. And I'm going to look at this bottom right here as a bullish. Bullish. And I'm not, excuse me, I'm not necessarily going to get crazy bearish till right there. So we're kind of in the middle. So I'm going to turn this one orange. British pound, JPY. Here's that dip. There's kind of pre-COVID levels. So it's easy to see now, guys. You very well could have made a lot of money if you were patient. I'm going to go there. If you were really patient right after COVID, this COVID affected the currency markets. And on the recovery, you just planted seeds and just said, you know what? Here's where it was before. I'm just going to go long back up to that zone, right? You let this panic happen, or the first couple bullish candles you see in a row, bullish days in a row, right? You got these two. Let's say you got bullish right here. You said, okay, we've seen a bottom. This could be a pullback, but if this breaks back above itself, I want to just be long. You have a really good day. It never really tests break even again. It almost shoots back up. Let's just do that. From here to there, it was 73 days. 73 days from March to June. And, you would have made 1,000 pips. So, and that's one pair, guys. One pair. This one I'm going to turn red. I want to see what we're testing this area right here, right now. Actually, kind of went above it. So that's where I want to leave it right there. British pound, US dollar. You can see on my smaller time frame, I'm looking at this channel. On our daily here, guys, we're definitely in this bearish zone, right? This is where we were pre-COVID. This is the kick to the balls. This is where we all wish we would have planted a buy seed and held it 73 days. I do want to look bullish there. Now, doesn't mean I just buy. Means I'm gonna look for a breakthrough of that, and then look at all this downside. It's very unlikely we're coming here again unless COVID affects the world like it did before. However, we could plop back down into this range. This is almost the smarter bullish area. But I want to see what's going to happen right there. It's kind of more make or break, and because we're on the daily, I want to look bullish here, but we could break right through it. One's orange. British pound, NZD. These are all in an upward channel. All right, on the daily, I want to look bullish on a retest of that resistance. And man, I don't look very bearish. I don't really feel like there's that's the closest zone. And we just broke through this. We haven't retested it yet. So that's what you got to be careful of. Is this going to come down, retest it? That's where we want to be, those buyers. We could be a smaller time frame seller down to that. I just wish things were easier in trading. They just aren't. NZD CAD. NZD Canadian dollar. Well, we had a nice head and shoulders here. Retest. And we're testing that. I love that area. See that? This, when you have these are very important parts. Then we tested it here, way a little higher, and technically we've broken it, right? And we're retesting. So we may just see this. Boom. This should have been bullish. But now, because we've actually broke through it and retested it, it's bearish. And it's hot bearish. Like, we want to be in it now bearish. We wish we were in it here. It's really easy to see. Top, down, pull back, down. Right? This pullback should have been a great place to enter if on a position trade, if you're looking at daily. I'm not gonna be bullish. I'm just gonna go ahead and call that point right there where it's probable it's going to. Not straight line. It's going to try to shake you off. But, man, this is not a bad trade. Let's see. If you get in right here, and we do go there, it's 316 pips. Not bad. Not bad at all. NZD Swiss franc, kind of the same thing. You can see right where we're at is the former resistance. Okay. And we're testing it. So we're either going to make or break right there. I'd be bearish. I don't know why I couldn't get that up there, but I did bearish right there. So we got good. We're at a really good point in time. What are you going to do there, price? La 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 la. Okay, this one's a little easier, right? That's an obvious bearish zone. We're testing this smaller time frame, but I'm going to put it down here for the bullish, just so if we break this make or break zone, this yellow area on this, you can see I got much smaller ones. I like this short down to that green zone. And we're going to turn this red because it's there right now. NZD USD, kind of the same thing. We are testing this area. We want to see, we got good downside potential to that green zone. And we're not going to necessarily be bearish till we get up there. So these two are hot. They're right at that bottom side make or break. USD Canadian dollar. Yes, USD Canadian dollar. Here's the COVID freak out. Here's the decline of the dollar. And guys, we've broken this range right here. Right? That's where we wanted to look bullish, but we're not. So I think we want to get bearish on a retest of that, and we're not going to necessarily look for any buy trades till we get to the pre-COVID bottom here. Here's the pre-COVID range. We're getting in there now. So we want to be sellers down to that zone. We want to be buyers from that bottom. And it took us a while to get there. We tested it. And I know personally I took a buy trade here because and we made a little bit. Actually, I got knocked out on this candle here because I had a really tight stop loss. Because I'm sorry, whenever you see this and you're playing the fade, you know, you're catching a falling knife. So I got a little happy on this candle and then moved my stop loss to break even. And, everyone else had the same idea and it went, kapow! And then let's go. So, I haven't been bullish this pair since. I'm just telling you. But now that we're breaking into this range, it's going to be a little bit more probable for us. USD Swiss franc, kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing. Here's the COVID freak out. Okay. Excuse me. Here's that COVID freak out. And then pre-COVID was up here. So I like this. I like finding a place to long this pair. It's just the dollar's just, it's really hard to go long the dollar right now. But I think we're finding a bottom here. So I'm going to be bullish if we test that again. And let's go bearish right there. Had a little bit of support there. We finally broke through. So it'd be a logical place where we can erase this bearish move and test that level again. So a lot of upside potential here. All right, USD JPY. Let's get rid of all these little lines I have on the smaller time frame and just get a good top side view. Okay. It's obviously bullish off of this area. So I'm going to put my bullish down there. Boom. We could go a little tighter on it. Actually, let's do where we saw some resistance right here down that pullback. Right there. But we finally broke through. So we could drop. And I want to look bullish there. Bearish, if we kind of look past this, I mean, it's a definite head and shoulders. That's where I want to look bearish. So if we pull down and we look bullish after this retest, bam, that's going to be its target. Now, the U.S. dollar's been struggling. We had a lot of talk of inflation, a lot of talk of this stimulus package, and what are we going to do? Can we keep printing money? We're in election year, so the dollar is gonna take a beating. It already has taken a beating, but I'm historically long the dollar. Bias. So I'm kind of getting excited with how far it's dipped down there. Eventually, people with money and institutions with money are going to think the dollar's cheap and it's a long-term good investment in the U.S. economy. So look for that move. May not happen this week. It may not happen this year. But there will be a good opportunity to soak up those dollars if they get too cheap. All right, guys. Well, that concludes this week's Sunday Setups. Don't forget to hit like and follow here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. You can support the channel by doing so. And if you got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you guys. And have a great rest of your weekend. And let's go make some money together next week. Over now.